What is going on, good people of YouTube? It is me, Chavez, back with another Prize Picks video for you. Today's Monday, February 27th, 2023. 4 games on the NBA slate to talk about, and yeah, I'm excited. I've had a lot of coffee this morning. Started off talking really fast right there. I got to slow it down. Got to pump the brakes a little bit here and take a deep breath every once in a while. So thank you so much for stopping by the channel, chilling out with me, talking some NBA props. And as always, I hope this video finds you all doing well and in good spirits. I have a couple of first half player props that I want to share with you. I'll tell you why I like these, as well as a couple of full game player props and tell you why I like those as well. And then I'll share with you a couple of slips that I've already locked in. So if that sounds good to you, then let us begin. And we are going to head on over to the Charlotte Hornets Detroit Pistons game, because there is a first half prop that I want to share with you. I'll tell you why I like this so much. So let's talk a little bit about LaMelo Ball over his 25.5 first half fantasy score. So number one, LaMelo Ball has been getting it done full game and first half. Now I know this doesn't look all that appealing. You would like to see more green, but the consistency is there. There are very few games where he finishes, under 20, or if not at 18, 19. So 3 out of his last 7, he's fell short of this, but the rest of these games are either over or well within reach of his PRA. Now, fantasy score consists of PRA plus turnovers and blocks and steals. So let's check out blocks and steals for LaMelo Ball first half over his last 10 games. He gives you at least one block or steal over the last 10 games, with the upside of giving you 3. He's averaging 1.5 versus Detroit. Gave you 3 last game, gave you 0 in that first game they played back in December. So let's just cut this and say he gives you 1.5. Now, we don't get credit for 1.5 turnovers in fantasy points, so we're going to say this is roughly 4 points that he can give you from blocks and steals. When we check out what his turnovers look like in that time span, he turns the ball over about 4 times. 4 times a game in his last 10 and 5, 2 against Detroit. So let's just say he gives you 2 turnovers in the first half. So there's -2, but we also have those 4 points from his blocks and steals. So we're up 2 points there. Now let's start adding in everything that he does in terms of points, rebounds, and assists. So LaMelo Ball comes out and gives you 11 points. Plus those 2 points that we have in our back pocket, there's 13 fantasy points. Rebounds, he gives you 5, so that's 6 fantasy points. So that's 19 fantasy points. And then his assist comes out and gives you 6 assists. That's 9 fantasy points right there. That's 28 fantasy points. Now we can say, what if he turns the ball over a little bit more? Fine. Turns the ball over 4 times in the first half. Based off this math, he still hits his fantasy score of 25 plus. So I like the over on LaMelo Ball. And something I mentioned earlier, or excuse me, something I mentioned in our first video, our early look and research video, is the Pistons give up a lot of production across the board, but they have a very high turnover ratio. So they have a lot of possessions that wind up in a turnover versus a score, which is just even better for fantasy score prospects. So another reason why I'm very high on LaMelo Ball over on his fantasy score. All right, let's head on over to New York, where the Knicks are hosting the Boston Celtics. One more first half prop for you, and I like the over on Julius Randle first half points, 12.5. I don't think this is too low. I don't think it's too high. I think it's right where it needs to be. Julius Randle has the upside of giving you 30 freaking points in the first half, or he can give you anywhere between 10 and 14. So we're looking for 13 first half points from Julius Randle today. Let's head on over to props.cash. Let's take a look at what he has done over his last 10 games, 5 games, and then what he's done specifically versus this Boston Celtics team. So first half points, like I said, he needs 13. He's giving you 13 in 7 out of his last 9 games. He's giving you 13 in the past 5 games here. That's incredible. That's incredible. Boston, specifically, he's giving you 18 and 14 in the first half versus Boston. And I don't think anything changes today. This is a game where you see the Stars step up. I think it's an ugly-ish type of game, but there is a lot of fantasy production to be had in a game like this where you see these guys, Brunson, Randall, Tatum, Smart, Derek White, all these guys have very positive games. And so I like Randall starting off strong. This is the All-Star game. This shouldn't even be in there. It's bringing his average down. This is why you see the difference in props.cash over his last 5 games. So he's hit this in 5 games. Don't be fooled by that All-Star game performance. So our first half props over Julius Randle points, and then we took the fantasy score of LaMelo Ball and want to go over there. All right, let's spend a few minutes talking about some full game props. So we're going to stay in the same game, talk a little bit about Mitchell Robinson and Jason Tatum. I like the over on all 3 of these props. Let's start with Mitchell Robinson over rebounds and then over rebounds and points. Pulling up his game log over on props.cash. You can see that over the last 10 games, Mitchell Robinson has exceeded his rebound prop 6 out of 10 times. Prior to his injury and prior to this long 1-month absence, he hit his prop in 4 out of 8 games, so 50%. 2 games back-to-back since returning. He's giving you double-digit boards. He's putting in time on the floor, so he's giving you almost 30 minutes, and that's a great sign. He's giving you 30 minutes. 4 fouls for Mitchell Robinson. That's basically 1 a quarter. We can live with that. We don't need him fouling out. Rebounds over that time frame. You can see that, he's attacking the glass on both ends of the court, which we want to see. And then we like the over on his rebounds and points. So not known as a big scorer, but 15.5 to me, I feel like Mitchell Robinson can go out and get you 12 rebounds today. He needs 4 points. I think he can definitely get you 4 points today. And looking at his, let's pull up his shot chart, which isn't going to look all that great because he's just not known as a scorer. But he's giving you 6 field goal attempts, 5, 8, 6. So if he, attempts six shots today, he can't make 3. Yeah, he can make 3. So I like the way this looks for Mitchell Robinson, who versus the Celtics it's the Celtics who just don't play good ball against the 5. Give me the over on both of those. And then I just don't know how you can ignore Jason Tatum rebounds and assists. What he's been doing these past few games is just fantastic, man. Like, take advantage of this. He's giving you 14, almost 15 rebounds and assists in his last 5 and 10 games. And against New York, he's averaging 13.5. I do think we see a better performance from the field from him, but that doesn't mean he won't grab boards and assist. I think you see just a better all-around game from Jason Tatum today. So give me the over on these 3 guys from the Celtics and New York Knicks game. All right, last 2 player props I want to share with you today. We've got Brandon Ingram over 25.5 points. Terry Rozier over 1.5 blocks and steals. Listen, not a whole lot of analysis needs to go into this Terry Rozier blocks and steals prop. He's done it in 5 straight games. He's playing a Detroit Pistons team who has a very high turnover ratio. Again, I mentioned this when I talked about LaMelo Ball's fantasy points. And just in case you didn't catch that, Detroit is number 23 in the NBA in turnover ratio. So not most, but a lot of their possessions wind up in a turnover versus a score. And so this plays into LaMelo Ball's, steals and blocks, which helps his fantasy score for the first half and full game. And if we like Terry Rozier's blocks and steals prop today at 1.5, you can see that he's done this in 2 games versus the Detroit Pistons this season. And he's done this in 6 straight games, 8 out of his last 10. And he's just playing a team in the Detroit Pistons who turned over the ball a lot. So give me the over on that one for sure. And then Brandon Ingram. I mentioned in the early look video that I liked Brandon Ingram along with Fultz and Wagner today. But let's talk about Brandon Ingram right quick. And I like the over on his points. And I know a lot of players got burned by Brandon Ingram last game, but I don't want to look at it like a banned list. I hate the banned list, to be honest with you, because it's daily prop betting, and it's just going to happen every once in a while. Your favorite players are going to just not perform on some levels, but I like going right back to the place that we didn't succeed. And looking at Brandon Ingram's game environment today, I like it for him. These two teams have played in the past, and Brandon Ingram wasn't available for that game. But over his last 10 and 5, you can see what he's capable of. Listen, if you're going to attack a point prop, you need to make sure that these guys are shooting the ball. And that's one thing that Brandon Ingram will continue to do. 20-plus shot attempts in his last 4 games. I mean, he is just going to shoot the ball, and that's what you want to see out of a shooter. You need them to put up volume. So if we like the over on his points, he needs 26. He needs to give us 20-plus shot attempts in this game. So give me the over on Brandon Ingram's points, and that is going to do it for today's props. In terms of what I've locked in, I've only locked in a couple of 2-pick powers. Locked in that LaMelo over fantasy, Jimmy Butler over his first half fantasy points. Possibly no Tyler Hero today. I just think this is a must-win game for the Heat. I think we see a more aggressive Jimmy Butler today. And then you know why I like Jason Tatum over on his rebounds and assists. And we just got through talking about the Brandon Ingram point prop. One thing to note, Detroit has a lot of injury news coming out right now. So you currently have no Dern, no Ivy, Stewart and Bojan Bogdanovic are both questionable. So if we see those guys sit out, we talked about Marvin Bagley in the first video. Lock his rebound point prop in. I think he's going to have a good game without those guys on the floor. Then look to guys like Killian Hayes and Alec Burks as well. We get some nice buy low props on these guys. Let's consider locking those in on the over. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for stopping by the channel, checking this video out as always. Do me a favor, drop me a comment below. Let me know who your favorite prop on the board is, who you have locked in or who you want to lock in. And then also let me know what you think about my looks and observations into these games, who I have locked in already. Do you like them? Do you hate them? Do you love them? Or do you want to leave them alone? Either way, drop a comment below letting me know. Thank you so much for all the support, the likes, the subs, comments, and I truly appreciate it and helping my little channel get a little bit bigger every single day. And until our early look and research video for February 28th, Tuesday, February 28th, Chavez is